Hi everyone, welcome to Caltex Academy. Today we are looking at inequalities and number lines. So we're looking at just basic inequalities, which says in this question, solve the following inequalities and represent its solutions on a number line. And the first number here is x plus 3 is greater than 7. So before we work on this inequality, there are basic few things we need to know. One are the signs of inequalities that we're going to be interacting with. So we have here, just like from what we have seen here, we have a sign and we have another one which is opposite to it. So the next one is looking like this, and finally we have also something like that. So this one means it's greater than, and this one is less than. So the third one here is greater than or equals to, and then the other one is less than or equal to. So these are the four signs we're going to deal with. Then secondly, when solving linear inequalities, all the rules for equations applies. Like if you have a constant in one side and you want to take to the other side, you either subtract or add depending on the sign of that number. And then the third one is if you are dividing by a negative number, or else if you're also multiplying with a negative, you have to reverse the sign to the opposite. So the opposite of greater than is less than. Then the opposite of greater than or equal to is less than or equals to. So those are basic rules that we need to apply when solving inequalities of this nature. And in this video, we're going to discuss 4 numbers together with their number lines. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the solution. So in the first place, we can recopy our question down here where we have x plus 3 is greater than 7. Now we can collect like terms by taking positive 3 to the right hand side. So since it is positive, meaning we can subtract 3 from both sides. So in the left hand side, we subtract minus 3, and also in the right hand side, we subtract minus 3. And this negative 3 and positive 3 will cancel, and we're left with, from the left hand side of this inequality, x is greater than. So when we subtract 3 away from 7, we have 4. Now here, this is the solution. Then we have to represent from the number line. So what we do is we get numbers which are near to 4, and then we represent in our number line. So let's draw a line to represent the number line here. Now if this is our number line that we're going to use, we can have maybe 4 somewhere here. Okay, this is our 4. So we can go up because x is greater. So the next number which is greater than 4 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We can end with 10, and these numbers are not ending, so we can continue giving their arrow representing that the numbers are endless. There are many numbers towards the right. The same to the left, there are also many numbers towards this left, including negative. So let's come here to where 4 is, and we give a cycle. So one thing I did not talk about was when you have greater than or you have less than, while representing the number on a number line, we will leave a cycle which is open, or a hollow cycle, just like this. Now we look at this. What is that number which is bigger than 4? So 5 is bigger than 4, 6 is bigger than 4, meaning we're moving in that direction. So we can again go ahead and draw a number line to show the numbers that are greater than 4. So we can draw this, and draw not really too big, to any length of your choice, and you give an arrow, meaning there are more numbers that are going in the right hand side which are greater than 4. So we can also represent here for somebody to easily read it. So we have here x is greater than 4, and that is the solution for the first number. So let's move on to the next number and see how it looks like. So the next inequality is b, and under b we have 2x minus 5 is less than or equals to 9. So let's do the same, working here, copying our number down, is less than or equals to 9. Then we can go ahead and collect like terms. So we have 2x minus 5. We have to add 5 on both sides. So here we have from the right hand side plus also 5. Then cancelling out from the left hand side 5, we're left with 2x should be less than or equals to the sum of 9 and 5 is 14. So here to get x, we need to divide both sides of this inequality by 2. So we recopy everything to get a new fresh solution, and we can divide 2 by 2 goes to 1. So by 2 is 1, by 2 we have 7. So we can collect our final result here, that x is less than or equals to 7. Now it's time to represent our solution on the number line once more. So let's move on here and we draw a number line. Studying it carefully, we look at it that we need to look at numbers that are less than 7. So assuming our 7 is somewhere here, what are those numbers that are less than 7? So you can go to the left to find out those numbers that are less than 7. And it's good to leave one number ahead. So if this is our 7, this will be another number there, and that is 8. So we have here 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. So these numbers are endless, so we can represent also using an arrow on both sides. Again, let's move on and come to 7. We draw our circle, but this time around is less than or equals to. So this circle is going to be shaded. We're going to fill it, and you're free to set it completely, or you can just present using line, just like what I've just done here. Is accepted, and we need to look at numbers which are less than 7. So when you look at 7 here, the number which is less than 7 would be 6 or 5 or any other number to the left. So from here we can bring our ruler and represent using an arrow facing to the left. So here we notice that these numbers are also endless, that are less than 7. And as before, we can give their x is less than or equals to 7, and that is our solution. Again, let's move to the next number, and our third number, c, is x minus 4 is less than 2. From our solution, As we copy down the inequality, we'll also collect like terms by adding 4 on both sides. So 2 plus 4. Now here 4 from the left hand side of this inequality will vanish, and we're only left with x. So this will be less than the sum of the right hand side is 6. Now here we can move on and draw our number line. So the guides will always be our solution. We have just got here, like we had 6 is greater than x, or x is less than x. So we have this time. Let me start with -1. We go to 0, we go to 1, proceed to 2, we proceed to 3, we go to 4, then 5, 6, and 7. Since we have space, we can still give 8 there, and these numbers are not ending. We represent using an arrow, and our main point of interest is 6. So we come here to 6 and circle above this number. Since we have less than, then it should be hollow. Now we look at a number that is less than 6. Here is 5, 4 is less than 6, 3 is less than 6. So many numbers are also less than 6, meaning our inequality is facing also to the left. So we can draw any magnitude of this line and represent with an arrow, since the solutions are also many. And we bring our solution down here where x will be less than 6. Now after this time, if you have not subscribed, please use spare 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel, share this video with a friend, and then give this video also a thumbs up to push it to many audience. Thank you for doing that. So let's proceed to our last number. Now in our last number, that is D, we have an inequality which is negative 3x is greater than 6. So if you're already okay, you can pause this video, try it on your own, and then represent the solution on the number line and wait to see how it looks like. So I give you 3 seconds to do that. Yeah, you have solved. I've also given you 5 seconds to represent the solution on the number line. Thank you. You have finished. So let's move on and solve up together to see how it is going to look like. So we have here negative 3x is greater than 6. Then remember, we're going to divide with negative, so the opposite of greater than is less than. Now we can reverse this sign as we divide by negative 3 on both sides. So doing that, the coefficient of x, which is negative 3, will divide itself to 1, and of course also when you divide this one here by 3, we get 1. Then 6 divided by 3, we get 2. And remember, positive divided by negative is negative. So our last answer here is giving us x is less than negative 2. So that's our solution. If I've got that, congratulations for working hard. Now next is to represent our solution on a number line. So as usual, the guide should be our solution we are seeing here. Now we can draw our line, and this time around we are dealing with negative. We don't need to worry so much about positive numbers. Like if this is our 0, then maybe 1 is somewhere here, and these numbers are proceeding. We can move on to these numbers from the left of this 0 and have -2, -3, -4. We just get a couple of them to represent the other numbers which are on this side here. And there are quite many, we cannot finish them all. So what we do is to end here. Then we move on to -2 from our number line, which is this one here. And since it is less than, so it's going to be hollow. We're not going to do any shading from here. So let's move on and draw. And remember, from -2, we have -3, which is less than 2. All other numbers to the left are less than 2. So our arrow again is pointing to the left. So we can adjust our ruler here, and then we draw facing to the left. And by doing so, since the solutions are also endless, we can use an arrow to present x is less than -2. If a number line is looking like this, thank you very much and congratulations for working hard. So this is the end of this video. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get the other upcoming videos. In our next video, we shall talk about inequalities and number lines of inequalities with fractions. So let's see ourselves in the other side. Sure.